Please be seated. Good morning, graduates, family members, friends, trustees, faculty, and staff. I am Timothy Stokes, President of South Puget Sound Community College, and I welcome you to the college's 54th commencement ceremony. I'd like to begin today's ceremony by acknowledging the land on which we sit and to thank and honor the original caretakers of this land. The Evergreen State College and South Puget Sound Community College sit on traditional lands of the Medicine Creek Treaty Tribes, which include Squaxin Island, Nisqually Indian Tribe, and the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. The 1854 treaty ceded these lands and is still in dispute. All who are not Salish people are visitors here. With this awareness, we pay respect to elders past and present of the Medicine Creek Treaty Tribes and all Native peoples. Each day, nearly 700 of us come to campus to do what we believe is one of the most honorable and rewarding things an individual can do in their career. We challenge, we educate, we open minds to new concepts, ideas, and possibilities. We create, we inspire, we motivate, and we watch as students learn, grow, and realize their potential and vast possibilities. Every day that I stroll across our beautiful campus, I see dedicated, committed, and intelligent faculty and staff working hard to ensure that every student who attends South Puget Sound gets a fair shot at their dreams and aspirations. Will the faculty and staff of SPSCC please stand and be recognized? The college is also led by a group of community members who give selflessly to the institution by serving on the college's Board of Trustees. All 5 members of our board are joining us this morning to help us honor our graduates. Joining me in the platform party are Doug Ma, Chair of the Board of Trustees, Leonore Fuller, Vice Chair, Trustees Judy Hartman, Jeff Davis, and Stephen Drew. They are tireless advocates and supporters of South Puget Sound. Other members of the platform party will be introduced throughout the ceremony. In our very first commencement 54 years ago, we celebrated the achievements of 38 graduating students. Through the work of the community, individuals committed to education, and students dedicated to achievement, the campus has grown. And today, we celebrate 1,447 students who have collectively earned 2,156 degrees, certificates, and diplomas. More than 900 of you are receiving your associate's degrees. More than 470 of you are receiving workforce credentials. 213 of you are here because you completed your high school diploma. And 269 of you have earned GEDs. As you sit in those chairs about to walk up on this platform and be handed what is likely to become one of your most valued possessions, take a moment to remember those who helped you get here. You transformed a dream that you had for yourself into a reality. But you've also fulfilled the dream of your mom, your dad, your siblings, your spouse, your partner, and your friends. Think about the community members who have influenced you, the teachers who have inspired you, and your fellow students who have urged you on. Remember these people and know that you will be the inspiration for someone else someday. This piece of paper that you will be given symbolizes an opportunity to give back to your community, to do work that makes a difference in the lives of others, and to shape the world around you. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So use your education. Give back where you can. Inspire those around you as you have been inspired. And look for where you can do good in your communities in both big and small ways. You are our future business leaders, government officials, medical professions, educators, and community builders. Remember that we are all connected one to another, and that connection is a very powerful and wonderful thing. So I commend to you the words of the 2019 Tony Award-winning actor Andre DeShields, some advice on life. Surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when they see you coming. Steadfastly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So just keep climbing. Congratulations, best wishes, and may the rest of your journey be filled with joy, peace, and prosperity. Now it is my pleasure to introduce something new to this year's ceremony. Last month, we invited all of you students to submit a video explaining how SPSCC helped change your life. Because no one can tell your story like you can, we've compiled some of your videos to share with your family, friends, and fellow students here today. Please turn your attention to the screens for a few moments.
My name is Landon Hufford, and I'm a student ambassador here at SPSCC. What that means is that I was awarded 2 years of free tuition to SPSCC, and in return, I volunteer 60 hours at the college. I have led campus tours and visits, information sessions, and have even been a member on a PRC committee, which determines if a professor here at SPSCC should be awarded tenure.
Hi everyone, my name is Tran. I'm 19 and this is my second year in SPSCC. I chose to major in communication and media studies because it's my childhood dream. Also, it's the best fit for my personality. After graduating in fall 2019, I'm going to transfer to the University of Washington in Seattle.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandy Iglesias and I'm a current student at SPSCC studying medical office administration. I enjoy going to SPSCC because not only the college has changed my academic and my technical skills, but I also felt like it has changed my social skills and my steps towards my independence into adulthood.
Hi, my name is V Tran. I started in SPSCC since 2017. I started here as an international student. Living in a new environment, I have difficulties in understanding the language, adapting to new educational system. But the International Student Services have offered me a lot of assistance. They help me with my study and help me feel belonging and welcome to the community.
One of the biggest things that SPSCC offered was it gave me a safe environment to grow as a person. Taking 7 quarters worth of classes, which means 3 or more each quarter, it gave me a chance to realize where my strengths were and what I needed to work on, but in an environment that didn't punish me as severely as the real world.
So I was diagnosed with autism when I was 2, and I used to be a very shy person when I was little, so I didn't speak at all until I was at age 4. But now I came to this community college. I feel like it's changed my life ever since my first quarter.
When I was a kid, I was always being told by the older generation in my family, especially my grandma, that the woman's value depends on her marriage, and also in order to have a good husband, you shouldn't be too successful in your career, you shouldn't be too smart, you should pay more attention in the house chores and raising the kids. But I didn't think the same way, and I had a dream. I want to go for it. And I'm here, and SPSCC has never made me regret of my decision.
Having these responsibilities, I have grown into a more strong and confident individual, and I'm no longer that shy kid I was in high school.
Now, I was so scared of the mandatory math credit that I had to take. I didn't think I would ever be good at math. It was a hit or miss thing in my mind. Either you were great at it or you weren't. But after taking math and society, I learned that I was actually able to understand math. I might not understand it in the most conventional way, but I could understand it. And now I'm a math tutor here, which I didn't think would ever happen in my lifetime, especially not as an 18-year-old.
Opportunity that SPSCC have given me, I realized that working as an event planner is what I want to do. Thank you so much, SPSCC. You literally just changed my life and helped me find out like now I'm living with 4. Thank you.
The best thing that SPSCC give me is that the experience I have to be involved, be a part of it, be a part of SPSCC.
Yeah, I'm just very thankful for that I came out of my shell to demonstrate to people who I am. Always remember that you are strong, smart, and perfect. So
I feel so much better about who I am and where I'm going than where I was when I first started when I started.
Overall, I just want to say thank you to SPSCC to make me a better version of I am and to make me feel I've never regret of my decision to be an independent woman in SPSCC.
And when I look into the future, even though I have no idea what's there or what it'll be like, I know I can do it. And I'm really glad that SPSCC gave me that confidence.
Thank you, SPSCC, and go Clippers!
I would now like to introduce the Vice President for Instruction, Dr. Michelle Andrees.
Good morning and welcome to the ceremony today. It's a gorgeous day to honor you all. This year we have several special faculty members retiring after many years of dedicated hard work and service to the college community, to the community at large, and to students in particular. Combined, this group of faculty members has served in the classroom for over 92 years. A few of them had a special message that they'd like to share with the graduating class, and in doing so, asked me to present this message to you on the screens. So please turn your attention to the screens.
Today we're celebrating a great achievement. You're leaving here with a credential that nobody can take away. It's becoming part of your personal history. It's evidence of the inner growth that you've achieved since you've been here. You've acquired persistence and critical thinking. You have grit and an open mindset and emotional intelligence. We're living in troubled times right now. So you need to believe in yourself. Refer to the success that you experienced today because this is your evidence that you have what it takes to do the hard stuff. Use these attributes: persistence, critical thinking, open-mindedness, emotional intelligence. Whether your plan is to go further in college or career, you leave right now with everything you need to do great things. Be a problem solver. Become part of the answer. The world needs you. Congratulations on your graduation and best wishes on the next phase of your journey wherever it takes you.
Congratulations! Here you are today, graduates. After all the tests, studying, research, projects, pressure, requirements, deadlines, and stress, you are here. Yay! No more financial aid forms, tuition, fees, parking struggles, or lines to wait in. There's no more chasing after points, late night study sessions, picky graders, tests, projects, or revisions. You are done. This is what you've been working for, a diploma or certificate. You traded all of that time, effort, work, and money for a piece of paper. The true value of this paper is what's inside of you. This diploma means that you have learned and grown as a person. You've broadened and diversified yourself. How much have you grown? Your abilities and talents have advanced to a level you couldn't have imagined a few years ago. Your professors have not only taught you the subject matter, but they've challenged you to develop persistence, resilience, mindfulness, and fortitude. How deep have you reached? Remember, it's not this piece of paper that holds the value. It's who you've become and how you use your talents as a result of achieving this dream. I am retiring. You're graduating. We all are moving on to a new phase of life. I hope you take the time to reflect on how much you've grown and learned in the process of attaining your degree. Good luck in your next phase of life. May you be well served by your accomplishments at SPSCC. Congratulations, graduates. Kiana Hoagland, retiring mathematics professor.
Good morning and congratulations. My name is Dave Pelkey. I am the Vice President of Student Services here at the college, and it's my pleasure this morning to introduce your student speaker, Tawny Andrews. Tawny enrolled at SPSCC in the spring of 2015. She took part-time classes her first year and then became a full-time student in the spring of 2017, fully engaged in the Culinary Arts program. Tawny is an outstanding student and member of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. She has been on the President's List 5 times in her journey at SPSCC. In addition to being an outstanding student, Tawny is currently serving her second term on the Aberdeen City Council, serving as a role model to both her campus and her community. Today, Tawny will receive her Associate in Applied Science degree in Culinary Arts, having earned a cumulative 3.54 GPA, and we celebrate this milestone moment with her. Please join me in welcoming Tawny Andrews.
Good morning. Okay, graduates, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and release. How long has it been since you've been able to do just that? Just breathe. Today we celebrate the end of one journey and the beginning of many more to come. For me, it's receiving my Associate's in Applied Science degree in Culinary Arts. I'd like to share a little bit of my story as a returning student to college. After 25 years of working behind a desk as a bookkeeper, I made the decision to leave that behind and embark on a new career. I remember a sign above my desk that read, "If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough." I had a dream. It was big. It scared me. I did it anyway. I had a passion for cooking that I needed to follow. I enjoy being able to put love visibly on a plate. As a wife and mother, I had been a home cook for years. But today, I stand before you as a professional chef with a degree that gives me the possibilities that are global. When I enrolled, I was scared I would be the old woman on campus. I was worried about the money. How would I balance working full-time and going to college? But, I'm glad I didn't go sooner. I wasn't ready before. I didn't know what I wanted to do to give me that motivation to go for it. I started by taking my prerequisites online while working full-time. Then I had to make the jump to a full-time student. And I was pleased to find that I was welcomed on campus and there was a wide range of students following their passion. I applied for scholarships. I received 2. Took the jump. Here I am. In a restaurant, you create the ultimate experience for your guests through what you put on the plate in front of them. The plating, the colors, the smells, and then the taste. It all creates that memory that guests take with them after they leave. In retrospect, my experience at South Puget Sound was much the same. Each ingredient plays an important role in a dish's profile. If you remove one, you change the entire dish. In the same way, adding different ingredients can transform your dish into something completely different. That's how I feel about our campus and my experience as a student. Without my instructors and my fellow classmates, my dish might have been completely different. Everyone at SPSCC added to my journey, added to my recipe. As you sit here today, think about the people that added to your recipe for success. And keep adding to that recipe. Try something new. You never know what could be the key to make your dish, that could be the key to making something bland sing. It's a little nerve-wracking standing in front of all you guys. Be as adventurous with your decisions as I am with my cooking. Reach out for those seemingly impossible goals that make your lives uniquely yours. Your journey isn't the same as my journey, or her journey, or his journey. Add those spices or sweetness that's yours. One of the best things I heard when I started was, a recipe is only a guide. I try to put my mark on every dish I make. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, just don't make it like that again. Or you can throw out that recipe altogether. A new recipe, a new career, a new path. I have such a supportive family. My husband, my kids, parents, friends, all cheering me on and willing to be my guinea pigs. Your support system adds to your recipe. The support at home, the people on this stage, everyone in the audience, yourself. Standing here today with the class of 2019, I'm proud of what we have achieved. We have created our recipe. Now go out there and share your signature dish with the world. Thank you.
It is now my honor to present 2019's Outstanding Student Award. Each year it's difficult to select an outstanding student due to the diverse successes of all of you. This award is special and shines a light on someone that we get to celebrate this morning. Thanks to our friends at the SPSCC Foundation, this student will receive a plaque and a $500 cash award to be applied toward the next step in their journey. The recipient of this year's Outstanding Student Award has been described as a delightful person who genuinely cares about others. This person has repeatedly demonstrated a commitment to service in the community while achieving in education in very challenging coursework. During their time at SPSCC, this person has led scientific research projects and volunteered to lead and teach multiple science workshops for the campus and greater community. They also provided leadership to the SPSCC Makers Club and could often be found assisting fellow students in the makerspace designing 3D projects. This person has earned both an Associate of Arts transfer degree and an Associate of Science Track 2 degree from SPSCC and is a shining example of someone who thinks critically, challenges themselves to get to the next level, and finds joy in supporting their peers in doing the same. Please help me congratulate Spencer Burris. Spencer, please join me on stage. You're okay. Congratulations. Spencer is transferring to the University of Washington, Seattle this summer to continue his studies in physics with a goal to become a physics researcher, and we are confident in his abilities to do so. He has received a 3.3 cumulative GPA in extremely challenging physics and math courses and has already completed the prerequisites for the UW. Congratulations, Spencer.
Will the candidates for the following degrees please stand? Associate degrees, certificates, high school diplomas, and GEDs. Please stand.
So, on the recommendation of the faculty and administration of South Puget Sound Community College and District 24, and in accordance with the rights and privileges accorded to me by law, I accept these candidates for associate degrees, certificates, high school diplomas, and GEDs. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated? Professors Amy Kassler and Warren McLeod will be reading the names of the graduates. Professor Kassler is a professor in psychology. Professor McLeod is a professor in forensic science. As they move to the podiums, please note the graduates with highest honors are wearing white cords, and those graduating with high honors are wearing silver cords. Students wearing gold stoles and gold and blue cords are members of our Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. So will the graduates begin to come forward to receive their degrees, certificates, or diplomas?
Tawny J. Andrews, AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate. Ready? Tawny J. Andrews, AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate.
Krishana D. Walker, Associate in Biology.
Carolyn Hardy, High School Diploma.
She has two. Okay. That'd be me. That's okay. Kriska? Deborah N. Kriska, AAS Automotive Technology and Certificates.
Gabrielle Ramsey, High Honors, AAS Business Administration, Associate in Business.
Emma Marie Mobley, Associate in Arts.
Shamina Islam, High Honors, Associate in Nursing.
Talia L. Woods, Associate in Nursing.
Amber Hawes, Associate in Nursing.
Veronica C. Ribeiro, Associate in Nursing.
Diane M. Jackson, Associate in Nursing.
John Silva M. Kabuya, Associate in Nursing.
Kirsten Jordan Anderson, Associate Pre-Nursing.
Kenneth Benningfield, High School Diploma.
Martha K. Hammonds, high school diploma.
Matthew Cliffman, high school diploma.
William Theodore Stapan, associate in arts.
Peyton L. Wood, associate in arts.
Trevor Jobert, associate in arts.
Abby McLean, associate in arts.
Lydia Glasgow, associate in arts.
Brianna Krupa, associate in arts.
Deja R. Williams, associate in arts.
Jonathan Thomas, associate in arts.
Madison N. Colbinson, associate in arts.
Caleb Batista Brown, associate in arts.
Adriana E. Schumann, associate in arts.
Alan Albert Almeo, associate in arts. Almejo.
Rachel E. Turcott, AAS Office Admin Administrative Assistant and Certificate.
Stacy Hudnall, AAS Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Technology.
Victoria P. Lafayette, Associate in Arts.
Sherry L. Morse, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate.
Terry L. Smith, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate.
Tiffany C. Barnett, Associate in Arts.
Joshua M. Flores, Associate in Arts.
I got it. Mildred Penaloza Gonzalez, Associate in Arts.
Natalia A. Pack, High Honors, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Laura J. Egan, Associate in General Studies.
Sydney M. Hallett, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
India J. Fitzgerald, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Leah N. Capindo, Highest Arts, Associate in Arts Honors.
Peyton M. Jones, Associate in Arts.
Is it Hugh? Wynn? Rachel E. Wynn, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Sadie P. Neem, Associate in Arts.
Emily R. Preuss, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Amanda E. Conklin, Associate in Arts.
Christine Eileen M. Harris, Associate in Arts.
Grace J. Martin, Associate in Arts.
Tara K. Hingley, High School Diploma.
Helen J. Rhodes White, High School Diploma.
Landon C. Hufford, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Alexa G. Stewart, Associate of Arts.
Cardi M. Caprice, Highest Honors, AAS Culinary Arts.
Nathan Hong, Associate in Arts.
Jessica D. Bowie, Highest Honors, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Emily E. Jackson, Associate in Arts.
Megan E. Smith, Associates in Arts.
Louis A. Ozuna, Associate in Arts.
Tyler B. Underwood, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Tanya L. Schisler, Clerk Receptionist Certificate and High School Diploma.
Jasmine Pippin Timko, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Shylin R. Gutchess, Associate in Arts, Associate in General Studies.
Victoria A. Watkins, High School Diploma.
Jackie R. Poost, Associate in Arts.
Alexandra S. Brown, High School Diploma.
Jesse G. Knoll, Highest Honor, Associate in Arts.
Ren S. Niles, Highest Honors, AAS Computer Programming.
Shantae N. Bowen, AAS Computer Programming.
Megan E. Laposa, Associate in Pre-Nursing. Geneva.
Christina M. Holzer, High School Diploma.
Geneva L. Schneider, High School Diploma.
Juliana Wellings Miller, Associate in Arts.
Xiaoxing Shi, Associate in Arts.
Ka Tung Lung, Associate in Arts.
Hui Wang. Okay. Hui Wang, AAS, Accounting and Accounting Clerk.
Sean Hunter Sipe, Associate.
Sean Hunter Sipe, Associate in Business, Associate in Arts. John N. Moore, Associate in Arts.
DeMonte Malloy, Associate in Arts. I'm back.
Willie V. Coleman. Willie V. Coleman, Jr., AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate.
Noemi Gonzalez, AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate.
Christopher M. Badillo, AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate.
Talia May Hansen, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
With a Z. Christina Benitez, Associate in Arts.
Mary Alexander, Associate in Arts.
Taylor R. Braden, Associate, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts, Associate in Science Track 1, Associate in Biology.
Busy guy.
That's a great name.
Amina Hussein, Highest Honors, Associate in Pre-Nursing, Associate in Arts, Associate in General Studies, and a high school diploma. Wow.
James A. Johnson, Associate in Business.
It's a nice, easy name. Derek White, AAS Business Administration.
Yoko Bryan, Associate in Arts.
Sausanet P. Codell, Associate in Business.
Nina M. Williams, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Ashley C. Evans, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Erica S. King, Highest Honors, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Alexander Cruz, AAS Medical Assisting.
Chloe Bianca Wilder, AAS Medical Assisting.
Kaylee A. Delgado, AAS Medical Assisting.
Danielle Eileen Williams, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate.
Tara L. Prosick, High Honors, AAS Medical Assisting. I see a pattern developing here.
Jamie A. Holt, AAS Medical Assisting.
I see a whole pattern with this group. Ashley M. Bolt, AAS Medical Assisting. Hey, they assist us.
Brittany L. McAvoy, AAS Medical Assisting.
There you go. Deanna L. Matthews, High Honors, AAS Medical Assisting.
Stephanie L. Golden, High Honors, AAS Medical Assisting.
Ronald V. Chontoiko, High Honors, AAS Medical Assisting.
Stephanie C. Bristow, AAS Medical Assisting and Associate in Arts.
Monica A. Baker, AAS Medical Assisting.
Kayla B. Gallo, High Honors, AAS Medical Assisting.
Jessica Labrum, Associate in Arts, Associate in Science Biology, graduating with honors. Oh.
Chanel R. Jinks, High School Diploma.
Jamie Songer, Baking and Pastry.
Lars J. Christensen, AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate.
Maya Govan, Associate in Arts.
Crystal E. Espinoza, Associate in Biology.
Alicia R. Martinez, High School Diploma.
Ryan T. Cools, AAS Automotive Technology and Certificates.
Nathan Robert Brockman, Office Assistant and Clerk Receptionist Certificate.
Joshua L. Rodriguez, Associate in Arts.
Nathan E. Yan, Associate in Arts.
Jacob A. Pazar, Associate in Arts.
Hannah S. Williams, Associate in Arts.
Ricky D. Pinkney, High School Diploma.
Case M. Dolmans, Associate in Arts.
Stephanie Wen, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Brandon P. Huynh, Associate in Arts.
Can you tell me your last name? Roberto Huzar, Associate in Arts.
Jason L. Nguyen, Associate in Arts.
Elizabeth R. Harding, Associate in Biology, Associate in Arts, Associate in Science Track 1.
Matthew N. Allen, AAS Welding, Technology and Certificates.
Gerald A. Montefalcon, AAS Welding, Technology and Certificates.
Samuel B. Staub, AAS Welding, Technology and Certificate.
Kyle R. Cardwell, Associate in Arts.
Tamara E. Morgan, High School Diploma.
Erica E. Jasso, Highest Honors, AAS Transfer, Early Childhood Education and Certificates.
Erica M. Saunders, AAS Early Childhood Education and Certificates.
Josie R. Bowen, AAS Transfer Early Childhood Education and Certificates.
Melody C. Bailey, High Honors, AAS Early Childhood Education and Certificates.
Jill D. Hankins, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Casey R. Englar, AAS Computer Programming.
Sean Raymore, AAS Computer Programming.
Anthony W. Brooks, AAS Fire and Emergency Services Technology.
Bryce A. Vaughn, AAS Fire and Emergency Services Technology.
Eric R. Tyler, AAS Fire and Emergency Services Technology.
Timothy A. Keese, AAS Fire and Emergency Services Technology.
Justin T. Baldwin, AAS Fire and Emergency Services Technology.
Jonathan S. Douglas, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Samuel R. Ludke, AAS Welding Technology and Certificates.
Janina M. Yaney, Associate in Arts.
Leanna R. Houston, Associate in Business, Associate in Arts.
Robert Alwyn Schaefer, High Honors, Associate in Business.
Joseph D. Rolinski, Highest Honors, Associate in Business.
Jacob R. Rowland, Associate in Business.
Gage L. Gibbo, Associate in Arts.
Bailey M. Moorish, Associate in Arts.
Rachel Callanan, Associate in Arts.
Colton Chost, GED.
Sasha R. Frise, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts, Associate in Science Track 2.
Irfan U. Ahmed, Associate in Science Track 2.
Kiera R. McClanahan, Associate in Biology, Associate in Science Track 1, Associate in Arts.
Colin M. Easterbrook, AAS Medical Assisting.
Catherine M. Sedevy, Associate in Arts and a high school diploma.
Natalie J. Cornwall, High Honors, Associate in Science Track 1 and high school diploma.
Sydney Wagner, Associate of Arts.
Richard E. Burton, Associate in Arts, AAS Automotive.
Keith Farr, AAS Automotive Technology and Certificates.
Nathan R. Bradley, AAS Automotive Technology and Certificates.
Rudy E. Romero, AAS Business Administration, Associate in Business.
Alyssa D. Hammonds, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate.
Kimberly D. Kish, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate.
Isabel A. Schlegel, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Charlotte J. Clements, Associate in Arts.
Mira D. Smith, Associate in Biology, Associate in Arts.
Kobe A. Cruz, Associate in Biology.
Macy Vollendorf, Associate in Arts.
Emily A. Favent, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Sierra L. Tardif, Dental Assisting.
Isabel Acevedo, Highest Honors, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Brianna K. Millarch, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Hannah A. Doby, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
You can read this one because I'm going to read the next one.
Okay. Ashley S. Engstrom, Associate in Arts. Yay.
Sorry. Julia A. Quinn, Highest Honors, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Kaylee R. Jones, Highest Honors, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
What a group.
That is quite a group.
Isabel E. Vega, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Cabrina C. Reich, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Stephanie M. Smith, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Michaela M. Stinson, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Yahaira Rosales Hernandez, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Elizabeth A. Free, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Ryan V. Anderson, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Sydney A. Lowry, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Tasia J. Stevens, AAS Dental Assisting Technology.
Hannah R. Kegg, Associate in Arts.
Molesky. Dominic Albert Moreski, Associate in Science Track 1.
Henry O. Williams, Associate in Science Track 2.
Maxwell K. J. Whitley, Associate in Arts.
Nathan L. Sater, Highest Honors, AAS Business Administration.
Amy C. Williams, High Honors, Associate in Science Track 1.
Eli J. Cortez, Associate in Biology, Associate in Science Track 1, Associate in Arts.
Randy Troutman, High School Diploma.
Haley A. Vile, High School Diploma.
Alicia M. Rebitzer, Associate in Arts.
Forrest S. Remdalziones, Associate in Business.
John L. Turpening III, Highest Honors, AAS Welding Technology and Certificates.
Cora Sharp, Associate in Biology, Associate in Arts.
Chi K. Lee, Highest Honors, Associate in Biology, Associate in Arts.
Jesse C. Crawford, Associate in Arts.
Karen L. Householder, High School Diploma.
Kyler P. Keller, High Honors, Associate in General Studies.
Austin C. Marshall, Associate in Arts.
Kian N. Walton, Associate in Arts.
Lam A. Wen, AAS, Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Technology.
Hai-Yong Lee, AAS Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Technology.
V. Tran, Highest Honors, Associate in Business.
Erica G. Gottlieb, Associate in Biology.
Cole J. Young, Associate in Arts.
Helen Rizzardi, Associate in Arts.
Stephen G. Reyes, Associate in Arts.
Hannah C. Jenny, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Kabenzi N. Kalinsky, Associate in Arts.
Thais A. Sapita, Associate in Biology.
Alyssa Stewart, Associate of Arts.
Chloe E. Kaysen, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Abigail Hope Perry, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Brooklyn A. Hilleman, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Olivia Hoover, Associate in Arts.
Matthew R. Didasco, Associate in Business.
Ezra L. Meredith, Associate in Arts.
Erica C. Seed, Associate in Arts.
Aaron C. Edwards, Associate in Arts and Associate in General Studies.
Michael J. Anderson, High Honors, AAS Paralegal.
Jolie C. Castro, AAS Paralegal.
Maria M. Riker, High Honors, AAS Paralegal.
Rochelle L. Tuatelli, AAS Paralegal.
Susan Nieves, AAS Paralegal.
Alicia Klavakian.
Alicia Kavaklian, AAS Paralegal.
Marvi S. Muckian, Associate in Pre-Nursing, Associate in Arts.
Kennedy D. Beto, Associate in Arts.
Kara G. Justice, Associate in Arts.
Kaya K. Blummer, Associate in Arts.
Ryan M. Adamson, Associate in Arts.
Katrina Rentschler, AAS Early Childhood Education and Certificates.
Danielle M. Reeves, AAS Transfer Early Childhood Education and Certificates.
Jennifer L. Russell, AAS Early Childhood Education and Certificates.
You guys are, oh, okay. Danny D. Ho, AAS Computer Programming. And then say, and his nephew.
And his nephew, Tommy H. Ho, Associate in Arts.
Lily Rose Johnson, Associate in Arts.
Maggie D. Curley, Associate in Arts, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Kendrick Dwayne Baldwin Jr., AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate.
Mitch S. Burke, Associate in Arts.
Isabel J. Wheeler, Associate in Arts.
Owen D. Martin, Associate in Arts.
Zachary D. Walker, Associate in Arts.
Nolan Robert Kazee, Associate in Arts, High School Diploma.
Cameron W. Quick, Associate of Arts.
Melanie G. Gallardo, High School Diploma.
And her sister, and her brother, sorry, Hugo S. Gallardo, High School Diploma. Good job.
Mookie O. Keene, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Lachlan Alexander Diaz, High Honors, Associate in Science, Track 2.
J. M. Becker, Associate in Arts.
Nancy L. Delgado, Associate in Arts.
Nicole S. DeAngelis, Associates in Pre-Nursing, Associate in Arts.
Elise M. Simmons, High School Diploma.
Ian C. Forth, Associate in Biology.
Jason N. Hollick, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Kira R. Heinzelman, Associate in Biology, Associate in Arts.
Andrew D. Putnam, Associate in Business.
Kai W. Tantlinger, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Olivia R. Love, High Honors, Associate in Biology.
Tanya L. Montarbo, Associate in Arts.
Connor M. Saran, Associate in Arts.
Cameron T. McWilliams, Highest Honors, Associate in Science Track 2.
Charlene J. Cruz, AAS, Early Childhood Education and Certificate.
Celia V. Torres, High School Diploma.
Lindsay R. Busenbach, Associate in Arts.
Nicholas Stottlemyre, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Adam J. Warren, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Anna M. Rodriguez, High School Diploma.
Prisa C. Anaruguo, Associate in Arts, Associate in Business, AA Business Administration.
Melissa L. Braun, Associate in Arts.
Alexis E. Chase, Associate in Arts.
Dawson G. Hayworth, Associate in Arts.
Taylor R. Elliott, highest honors, Associate in Arts.
Jessica R. Sears, High School Diploma.
Mariah Renee Hicks, Associate in Arts, High School Diploma.
Olivia C. Snell, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Caitlin L. Ward, highest honors, Associate in Business, AA Office Administration, Administrative Assistant, and certificates. Oh. Wow, busy.
Roger E. Chandler, AAS Business Administration, Associate in Business.
Jason A. Humphrey, highest honors, AA Business Administration.
Eva Jewel R. Presley, AAS Accounting and Accounting Clerk.
Amanda Fisher, high honors, AAS Business Administration and certificate.
Dawn M. Young, AAS Accounting and Accounting Clerk, AAS Business Administration.
Olivia L. Moulton, AAS Accounting and Accounting Clerk.
Carla Marie Johnson, Associate in Business, AAS Business Administration, Associate in Arts.
James H. Newcomer, highest honors, AAA's Business Administration.
Sarah G. Harlan, AAS Automotive Technology and Certificates.
You have to go first.
Madison L. Meyer, highest honors, Associate in Arts.
Taylor V. Williker, high honors, Associate in Arts.
Sarah S. Smith, Human Resource Assistant Certificate.
Drew W. DeFord, AAS Cybersecurity and Network Administration, AAS Information Technology Computer Support. Wow.
Jerry T. Goss, High School Diploma.
Andrew E. Brazil, Associate in Arts.
Dylan B. Reuben King, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Eric N. Deniston, Associate in Business.
Caitlin L. Dang, Associate in Arts.
Jaden D. Ortiz, Associate in Arts.
Naomi L. De Jesus, Associate in Science Track 1.
Kagan A. Manker, High Honor, Associate in Arts.
Jeremiah Q. Sather, Associate of Arts.
Skylar J. Robinson, Office Assistant Certificate.
Jaya C. Peaks, Associate in Arts.
Sandia P. Lopez, AAS Office Administration, Administrative Assistant and Certificates.
Leslie M. Williams, High Honors, AAS Office Administrative Assistant and Certificates.
Sarah M. Shanley, AAS Office Administration, Administrative Assistant and Certificates.
Elias Barriga, Computer Support 1 Certificate.
Skander Mahfood, Computer Support 1 Certificate.
Malek Ben Abdallah, Computer Support 1 Certificate.
Daniela Rojas Hernandez, Associate in Arts.
Alexandra J. Valdivia, High Honors, Associate in Biology.
Theodore M. Sheehy, Associate in Arts.
These are siblings. Okay. Stephen C. Kish, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
He had high honors? She has highest. Sydney P. Kish, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts. His sister.
Rihanna R. Whitehead, Associate in Arts.
Michaela N. Collins, Associate in Arts, Associate in Biology, Associate in Science, Track 1.
Trinity B. Batoni, Associate in Arts.
Yes, ma'am. LaQuisha R. Turner, Associate in Arts.
Like the country.
Kimberly N. Brazil, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Ariel B. Ingoldsby, Associate in Business.
Aram B. Briggs, AAS Welding Technology and Certificates.
Kathleen Ruth, High Honors, AAS Office Admin, Legal Administrative Assistant, and Certificates.
Crystal A. Trent, AAS Office Admin, Administrative Assistant, and Certificates.
Austin J. Hughes, AAS Cybersecurity and Network Administration.
Stephen T. Togeson, High Honors, AAS Cybersecurity and Network Administration.
Landon M. Vogel, Highest Honors, AAS Cybersecurity and Network Administration.
Alexis Inzunza, AAS Information Technology Computer Support.
Shakib Dai, Computer Support 1 Certificate.
Richard D. Thomas, High Honors, AAS Computer Network Administration.
Joshua C. Richardson, AAS Information Technology Computer Support and Certificate, AAS Computer Network Administration and Certificate. Wow. Busy guy.
Robert Edward Lindsay, AAS Computer Network Administration.
Brandon F. Whitney, AAS Computer Network Administration.
Matthew C. Anderson, AAS Computer Network Administration.
Brianna M. Rosine, Associate in Arts.
Fu Win, Highest Honors, Associate in Business.
Okay, yep.
We got a mother-son comment.
On Pham, High Honors, Associate in Business. This is the son?
Yeah, this is a son. Yeah.
Aiden D. Pintuff, Associate in Arts.
Good for you guys. And his mother, Teresa Pintuff, High Honors, AAS Office Admin, Medical Administrative Assistant and Certificates, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate. Very nice.
And his mother.
That's nice.
Billy Joe Vargas, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate.
Kimberly Everhart Neese, Highest Honors, Associate in General Studies, Medical Billing and Coding Certificate.
Gina C. Sachs, Office Assistant and Clerk Receptionist Certificate.
Florentina Martinez Perez, Office Assistant and Clerk Receptionist Certificate.
Dong Sue Litchfield, Clerk Receptionist Certificate.
You're welcome.
Kim M. Sabo, AAS Office Admin, Medical Administrative Assistant and Certificates.
Lily Rasmussen, Associate in Arts.
Sierra J. Fulkerson, High Honors, Associate in Arts. And say it.
And her twin sister, Mackenzie R. Fulkerson, Associate in Arts.
Brittany A. Helpling, Associate in Arts.
Melissa R. Johnson, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Jimenez. Adelina Colin Jimenez, High School Diploma.
Kristen A. Mullinax, Associate in Arts.
Derek G. Woods, High Honors, AAS Computer Programming.
Alyssa K. List, Associate in Arts.
Veronica M. Lunar, High School Diploma. Sorry.
Take this one. I let this girl and her.
Jason A. Lyons, Associate in Arts.
Tess A. Ashley Cole, Associate in Arts. Yay!
Danielle L. Williams, Highest Honors, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Desiree D. Arnett, Associate in Business.
Ashley Lorraine Devlin, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Spencer M. McDowell, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
He's my student.
Caitlin G. Cunningham, AAS Paralegal.
Skylar B. Bastido, Associate in Arts.
Juan A. Pham, High Honors, AAS Computer Programming.
Phuc Trong, Highest Honors, Associate in Science, Track 2, Associate in Arts.
I want to do this guy.
Wei Wen, High Honors, Associate in Science Track 2, Associate in Arts. Colby W. Butler, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Kara L. Ridgway, Associate in Arts.
Kylie Reich, Associate in Arts.
Alexandra E. Kokel, Associate in Arts.
Natalie J. Rice, Associate in Arts.
Riley T. Peters, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Layla.
Layla S. Okori, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Peyton M. Pedro, Associate in Arts.
Shauna R. Carson, Associate in Arts.
Adrienne T. Kill, Associate in Arts.
Caitlin Ann Straight, Associate in Arts.
Paige O. Dunaway, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Angelina Allred, Associate in Arts.
Gabriella F. Holman, Associate in Arts.
Elizabeth A. Shackley, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Madison M. Crouch, Associate in Arts.
Tyler D. Wenzel, AAS Business Administration.
Barbara J. Cleveland, High Honors, AAS Office Admin, Medical Administrative Assistant and Certificates, AAS Office Admin, Administrative Assistant. Wow.
Michelle M. Wright, AAS Accounting and Accounting Clerk.
Amanda N. Conwell, AAS Accounting and Accounting Clerk.
Ariana S. Baucom, Associate in Arts.
Michaela H. Garcia, AAS Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Technology.
Gabriel Harrison Miller, AAS Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Technology.
Asen Lipska, High School Diploma.
Larry F. Dees, AAS Business Administration, AAS Accounting and Accounting Clerk.
Justice A. Cressy, Associate in Art.
Van Ton Tran, High Honors, Associate in Biology.
Raymond B. Fung, Highest Honors, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Aaliyah Gani, Associate in Business.
Margarita Hernandez, Associate in Nursing.
Jordan A. Baker, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Shay M. Bell, Associate in Arts.
Brad L. Blackburn, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Denise Q. Tong, Highest Honors, Associate in Biology, Associate in Arts.
Suleiman Dembili, Associate in Science Track 2.
Edwin F. Nieves Jr., High School Diploma. Oh, no, you don't. Kelly M. Phelps, Associate in Arts.
Sarah C. Rika, Associate of Arts.
Amy M. Kerwood, Associate in Arts.
Michaela A. Lowe, Associate in Arts.
Mary Anna.
Glismarly Aguilar, Associate in Arts.
Mariana G. Gonzalez, Highest Honors, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Hannah Reese Christensen, Associate in Arts.
Jorge A. Hernandez, GED and CMT Certificate.
Alexis T. Neely, Associate in Arts.
Jordan L. Edwards, Associates in Pre-Nursing.
Jessica Lynn Bird, High Honors, Associate in Arts, Baking and Pastry Arts Certificate.
JC N. Zepeda, High School Diploma.
Danielle Lindsay Buck, Associate in Arts.
Georgianne J. Newton, High School Diploma.
Andrew R. Harris, High School Diploma.
Unique A. Franco, High School Diploma.
Brittany Blair Carter, Associate in Arts.
Devin S. Wilson, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Amanda Y. Monahan, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Joshua K. Cutlip, Associate in Science Track 2, AAS Database Management, AAS Computer Programming.
Katessa Miller, GED.
Jeremy K. Countryman, Associate in Science Track 1, Associate in Biology.
Maxwell D. Peterson, Associate in Arts.
Solana G. Chase, Associate in Arts.
America A. Zaranda, Associate in Arts.
Xochitl L. Nunez, Associate in Arts.
I got it. 80 Jacqueline Gonzalez Gomez, Associate in Arts.
Sandra Spence, Highest Honors, Associate in Arts.
Allison R. Lovely, Associate in Arts.
Courtney N. Clancy, High School Diploma.
Oh, this is a husband-wife duo.
These two?
Yeah. I'll say and her husband.
Jordan Courtney Scott, High School Diploma.
And her husband, Adrian Lucas Scott, High School Diploma. Will C. Johnson, High School Diploma.
Neva Kathleen Sullivan, Associate in Arts.
Brittany A. Holt, High School Diploma.
Richard Ian, Associate in Arts.
Alexandra D. Skiff, Associate in Arts and a High School Diploma.
Okay, we better, I'll say it, and his mother. You go ahead.
Austin D. Crawford, Associate in Arts.
And his mother, Sylvia M. Gonzalez, Associate in Business with Honors and Associate in Arts.
O'Neill L. Brantz, Associate in Arts.
Caitlin Elaine Muller, Associate in Arts.
Jerry L. Hoskins, High School Diploma.
Andrea N. Dominguez, High School Diploma.
Danielle N. Miller, Associate in Arts.
Eric B. Castro, High School Diploma.
Tuan Pham, Associate in Arts.
Michelle H. Wen, Associate in Arts.
Anessa L. Quidiga, Associate in Arts.
Oh, thanks.
Justina H. Dizon, Associate in Arts.
Dolores I. Serpes Rodriguez, High School Diploma.
Samari Bangiro, High School Diploma.
Loretta Joyce D.C. Rosario, High School Diploma.
Alexis T. Sharp, Associate in Arts.
Thomas O. Fosca, Associate in Arts, Associate in Pre-Nursing.
Anna J. Gillihan, Associate in Arts.
Casey W. Huff, Associate in Arts.
Jared D. Thompson, High Honors, Associate in Business.
Mark S. Lashley, AAS Office Admin, Administrative Assistant, and Certificates.
Justin A. Talmadge, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Celeste Nicole Aquino, High School Diploma.
Angela R. Ballou, High School Diploma.
Jordan S. Clayton, High School Diploma.
Joshua M. Harrington, GED.
Dana L. Aguirre, Associate in Arts.
Guadalupe Gomez Trinidad, High School Diploma.
Quinn Tai, High Honors, Associate in Science, Track 2.
Lauren McAllister, High School Diploma.
Ariel A. Raquel Carino, Associate in Arts. Sorry.
Christine M. Nielsen, Associate in General Studies.
Sharon Dawn Polson, Associate in Arts.
Sean R. Merrick, High Honors, AAS Advanced Manufacturing and Certificate.
Daniel J. Lund, Associate in Arts.
Caitlin Pratt, Associate in Arts.
Alicia A. Lang, Associate in Arts.
Tiffany Bam Bam Eaton, Associate in Arts.
Heather R. Mayo, High School Diploma.
Darian J. Torres, AAS Automotive.
You read this next, guys.
Okay.
Maximilian Rideout Riley McDowell, High Honors, Associate in Arts.
Congratulations.
Wayne A. Rankin, AAS Culinary Arts and Certificate, and 40 years ago today, he graduated high school. Congratulations. Oh, you need a card? No. Thank you.
Congratulations, South Puget Sound Community College's graduates of 2019. If the graduates would stand, you may now move your tassel to the left. If everyone would remain where they are until the stage party is left, we'd really appreciate it. Congratulations and thank you to all the family and friends who came to support our graduates.
Hello. If Candria is here, your daughter Carissa is at the front of house tent right by the tower in the middle of Red Square. Thank you.